Some of that's easy money.
Easy fucking money. And let me tell you something, brother. Who he beat on the division? Michael Chandler coming off 4 losses, 5 losses. Tony Ferguson, 8 losses. Bobby Green coming off 3 losses. And who he beat on the top 15? Nobody. Nobody. And he's still getting the title.
Justin Gaethje's career just flatlined before our eyes, and the only question now is whether this was sabotage, strategy, or the most tragic twist the UFC has dropped in years.
Paddy Pimblett and
yes, it's a business to build Paddy and make him easy fights. But I hope Justin gonna beat his ass, kick his ass, and we're gonna forget about Paddy all our life. They gave him easier because they know he's gonna lose to Ilya, and the real fighters like me just watching and waiting our time, you know.
Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje was built to be January violence for the interim belt, but suddenly Gaethje is reportedly out and Arman Tsarukyan is circling the cage like a shark sensing blood, and if this rumor lands true, it could slam the coffin lid on Gaethje's final chance at championship glory.
Justin, if you need the help, let me know. I'll fly to you and help you.
Really?
I mean, I want him to win, you know. That bullshit guy, I hate him. But I hope Justin Gaethje not gonna drink, party, gonna train, dedicate himself, be focused. It's his last chance in this life. He's fighting like, he was fighting for the title maybe 5 times. So this is his chance and the end of his career, win the interim title, fight for the real title, and then retire. That's the best for him.
Keep watching, because in about 20 seconds, I'll expose the detail behind Gaethje's exit that makes this feel a whole lot darker than an innocent injury.
This is Arman fault, this is Topuria fault, this is, you know, when I fought Makhachev, Arman was supposed to fight for the title and he fucked up the division, that's the truth, you know.
Yeah.
If we had fought that night, the division would keep going, but now we have Topuria going through divorce or something like that. He doesn't want to fight, but it is what it is. They have Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. To me, this is going to be the paper champ. That, you know, that's not a undisputed champ, and doesn't make any sense to do this interim belt because Topuria will be the champion anyways. Yeah. So whoever gets the belt now have to face Topuria for the unification of the belt. So to me personally, doesn't make any sense. The fight should be #1 contender. But why UFC did that? Because they solve a lot of problems with that, because Justin Gaethje was saying if he didn't get the title shot, he would retire.
For Arman Tsarukyan, this isn't chaos. This is a golden ticket straight to the belt, a championship dream delivered in shockwaves. Even though Justin had been shouting from every rooftop that this was his era, his perfect moment, his legacy shot to launch UFC, Paramount Plus with violent fireworks.
It's the same. He has like a followers or whatever, or his country is big, or I don't know, UFC likes him so much, or he's selling, or what he's doing, I don't know. So he got his title fight because of that.
Arman wasn't rooting for Paddy one bit. He wanted Gaethje to bulldoze him, then walk out holding the belt, so Arman could fight a real champion, not the hype project he believes has been handed everything while he's earned everything, even offering to train with Justin because he knew this was Gaethje's last chapter.
Wouldn't you kind of like the opportunity to be the one to do it to him, like to beat Paddy?
Yeah, oh my God, I would just maul his face on the ground just with my elbows. When I fought with Hooker, I was thinking, what should I do when I was on the top? Should I choke him, or I just should like elbow him? But with Paddy, I'm not gonna for the choke. I'm gonna just elbow him all day, all night, just make his face like bleeding.
Here's your second don't blink or you'll regret it moment, because what Renato Moicano said next didn't just criticize Paddy Pimblett, it shredded his UFC resume and exposed the fight game politics the UFC doesn't want you to see.
There's a saying that like, don't hate the player, hate the game, but you hold it personally against Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, I hate just Paddy. I hate Paddy.
Yeah.
I wish it was Oliveira fighting with Gaethje or someone different, but not Paddy. I hate that guy.
Will you be at the fight? I imagine you'll go to January 24th. Yeah, you think you'll be there?
I don't want to be there because I'm gonna fight with somebody there. Because if I see Paddy, I would like to slap him. Not slap like slapping Ilya, but real Armenian slap. Maybe this is Spanish slap, like when they put on the neck, that's the slap. I'll show him like a real slap.
Moicano went nuclear, blasting the UFC for giving Paddy a title shot without beating a single fighter in the top 15, calling his wins weak, padded, and nowhere near elite, accusing the lightweight division of being trapped in traffic ever since Arman got blocked from fighting Islam Makhachev.
How do you feel about Ilya not fighting?
I don't blame him at all. You know, if he's going through, you know, that kind of stuff, divorce and relationship stuff, you know, it's you gotta figure out that stuff, personal stuff, before you get into fight camp. Your mind needs to be ready, focused, sharp. You need a good team, good, you know, people around you, and if you're dealing with that stuff, it is not a time to be in fight camp. So yeah, I think he's making the right decision.
He slammed the Gaethje versus Paddy interim fight as a fake championship, a belt designed for business, hype, and ratings, especially when Ilia Topuria should still be viewed as the true ruler of the division.
Ilya is going through a divorce right now, so of course that's a tough time for anybody, and it is very, very distracting. You can't focus on a fight in a training camp, and certainly an opponent when you're going through a divorce. So I'm certainly not going to talk about that any more than what I have done there. Ilya, we wish you nothing but the best.
But nobody is more furious than Arman Tsarukyan himself, who feels like UFC politics and Paddy's fandom robbed him of his rightful throne, promising that if he ever gets his hands on Paddy, he'll bury him under elbows so vicious the cage canvas might need emergency cleaning.
Well, first off, my hat goes off to Ilya for doing that, because a lot of fighters would be like, no, I'm going to hold on to it and make everybody wait. So my hat's off to him for pulling that. The Khalil, not Khalil, but the Jamal Hill and the Yuri Prohashka, right? Like saying,
Right.
you know, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let these other guys fight for it and let them shake things out the way it needs to shake out. So even though he's not relinquishing the belt, he is letting somebody fight for the interim belt. So my hat's off to him for doing that. And when you have personal problems, you're not going to be able to fight well. And he understands that. So hats off to him for also recognizing that and not just trying to push through, because typically we'd be like, oh man, he should be fighting anyway. But the fact that he's recognizing that he's not going to be able to give us his best work and he needs to sit out for a while, hopefully things get better for him. And I'm wishing him all the luck and success in getting those things behind him so he can come back and fight.
And right after this, I'm gonna drop the exact reason fans think Topuria is ducking Arman. And trust me, this theory is spreading like wildfire behind the scenes.
I already knew that Paddy gonna fight with Ilia Topuria in January, but I didn't know they're gonna do interim title versus Gaethje and Paddy. But I knew that UFC wants to do Ilya versus Paddy, and on my mind I didn't think like it's something happened even if I knock him out, because they already set up that all things. But at the end of the day, Ilya didn't fight.
Topuria is getting hammered online for refusing to fight early 2026, with fans accusing him of dodging the true #1 contender, but Sean O'Malley defended him, saying divorce destroys focus, and nobody can train for war while their personal life is falling apart.
I think this is UFC game plan. It's not like a family issue or something. It's they want to make star Paddy Pimblett and to bring him to fight for the title with Topuria has a bigger name and make it like a big fight, like Khabib versus Conor. But they're not, even if he got the belt. They know I could beat everybody. That's why they didn't give me title fight. Paddy, for me, it's a easy work. Justin, it's a easy work. Ilya, easy work. It was a hard work, Islam, but he left. So nobody on my level on this division right now.
Michael Bisping backed it up, saying even the strongest fighters get wrecked by divorce, while Din Thomas praised Topuria for stepping aside instead of freezing the division, avoiding a total championship traffic jam.
But this is a very, very tough competitive matchup. Now, Justin Gaethje is no spring chicken. I think he's 36 years old. But you know what you're going to get with Justin Gaethje. Yes, of course, against Max Holloway at UFC 300, he got knocked out. He got embarrassed. He got face planted. I tell you what, it was was a shocking scene, okay? But that's not normally what happens with Justin Gaethje. He is one of the most exciting fighters. They do call him the human highlight reel for a reason. He's got great wrestling, but the boxing, the striking, the leg kicks, the punch power that he has, I'm telling you, this man is no joke. And neither is Paddy Pimblett, right? We saw last time against Michael Chandler, he is the real deal. He absolutely smoked him. He's undefeated in the UFC. He put a beating on Michael Chandler.
But then Arman dropped a bombshell. The UFC had already planned Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria in January. The blueprint was set, and Arman thought nothing would change after beating Dan Hooker right up until Topuria pulled out, and the UFC turned the wheel upside down.
And for Justin Gaethje, this is the final go. This is the final crack of the whip. The man's had 2 title fights in the past, Charles Oliveira to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and now he gets to go up against Paddy Pimblett. Now, talking about the matchup, of course, it is an easier fight for Justin than what it is against Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the greatest of all time. Islam Makhachev, the current pound for pound, and according to many people, a man that is surpassing Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? So in that regard, it is an easier matchup. Will Paddy be able to take him down? Will he dance around the octagon? Yes, he will. Will he try and replicate the game plan of Max Holloway? Of course he will. Who wouldn't try and do that? You aren't going to stand and go toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje because the man does have knockout power. But underestimate Paddy at your peril. That's all I'll say about that one, but that is a phenomenal fight.
Now, Arman believes the UFC is building Paddy like a shiny movie villain for a blockbuster showdown with Topuria, while shoving him out of the shot, even though he insists he can beat every name in the division except Islam Makhachev, the only man he admits is truly difficult.
Right. Well, I know someone who's not happy, and I'm sure that's Arman Tsarukyan, right? I'm sure he believes he deserves to be in this fight. And he was saying, even after the win, like, didn't take any damage. If they want me to fight in January, that's when he's being asked about Ilya. But I'm sure if they called him to fight either of these guys for an interim belt, he would have done it.
You know, and it's unfortunate too, because we put this burden on these fighters, but it says a lot though. It says a lot about the direction that Paramount wants to go with the UFC, really. It says that, listen, we want guys that are going to bang. And it's an unfair burden that we put on fighters to say, we want you to win, be successful and win it. And you also have to entertain us by putting your neck on the line and taking a lot of chances and taking damage in the process. Because when you got guys like Justin Gaethje, that's what they do, but they're fan favorites. A guy like Arman Tsarukyan might not be a fan favorite because he's so grappling oriented.
Meanwhile, Michael Bisping hyped the Paddy versus Gaethje fight as far scarier than people think, praising Gaethje's death touch power and Pimblett's evolution, warning that Paddy would need perfect footwork to avoid getting detonated by Justin's bombs.
So it's kind of telling of where the direction of where they want the UFC to go, because they're trying to get eyeballs, man. Without eyeballs, the sport goes nowhere. So for Arman Tsarukyan, he might have to sit out for a little bit, but you know, he definitely deserves it and his time is coming. It's just, I think right now Paramount and the UFC is kind of establishing that, you know, we're going to want some entertainers in there, and if you're not entertaining us, if entertainment is not a part of your priority, then that might be an issue.
But behind the scenes, things get dirtier. Den Thomas claims Paramount is prioritizing stars, not pure talent, entertainment over legitimacy, which means clinical grapplers like Arman get stuck in the shadows no matter how many contenders they break.
The number one contender at 155 pounds is a guy named Arman Tsarukyan, and he's not involved in this fight. This is a makeshift fight. This is as prestigious as a BMF title. God bless. I said I wanted to see Paddy fight for the belt. God bless. But this is a bogus fight, and it's insane to me that it is headlining over Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. On paper, Paddy versus Justin is a fine fight to determine the number one contender to fight Ilya and or Arman. Ilya won that belt back in June. I don't even think you need an interim title fight.